Good morning. We'll start with the pledge this morning. Commissioner Davis, will you start with the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Coleman, would you open in prayer?
Yes, thank you. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning with heavy hearts. We've had losses this week and news of serious health issues for some of our friends and loved ones. Lord, we just ask that you be with each and every one of them. And there are many more, and you know each of them by name. So Lord, we just ask that you lay your healing hand on them and comfort them and give them the strength to face the days ahead. And Lord, we ask for your wisdom and guidance as we make decisions today that affect everyone in this county. Lord, we ask all of this in thy heavenly precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you both. We will get started with the approval of the minutes for April 10th.
Sir, I would make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted by our clerk for April 10th.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Hi.
In the matter of request for appropriation of funds,
Any comments or questions on our appropriation request? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Hi.
In the matter of request for appropriation transfer of funds,
Any comments or questions on appropriation transfer requests? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Hi.
In the matter of request for fund transfers,
Any comments or questions on item 3? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
This is item 4.
yes.
Sorry, I'm
Second.
behind. Sorry.
Second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
I was about to
Mr.
say the
Powell?
numbers didn't add up over here. Aye.
In the matter of approving payments of the regular schedule of accounts for various funds, moral obligations, and then and now certificates in the total amount of $812,525.81.
Any comments or questions on item 5? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Any comments or questions on our miscellaneous reports? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of letter of support to Senator Bernie Marino regarding Ohio Riverway's multi-community application for portable ADA accessible docks.
This is a letter of support. We actually did this letter of support for the Ohio Riverway when Senator for Winstrup's office, rather. They're now asking through Senator Marino to basically put 88 docks. They're looking at potentially something there in Lucasville, but also kind of just enhancing all the riverfront, not only in our county, but all the way down into Kentucky. So I appreciate their efforts. They always do. They've already put signage up along the riverway. They've gotten funding for that. Now they're trying to figure out additional enhancements to go after. So they're looking for support for grant money. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing Darren LeBrun, PEPS, Scioto County Engineer, to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or Local Transportation Improvement Program, and to execute contracts as required.
Oh, our engineer is in the room. We have a couple engineer items. I don't know if I'm gonna put you on the spot. Is that okay, sir? Yeah, go ahead. This is a very important road, huge slippage during the last storm event, and I know you've been going after some funding and trying to find funding for that, so specific to Fort Hill, if you
Yeah,
will.
so as far as Fort Hill, we did have a slip here this Sunday after the big rainfall that we had. Our estimate on that project is $3 million. We do have Scioto County has been awarded $2.5 million in emergency OPWC funds, so that'll be available the 1st of July. July, which is the beginning of the state's fiscal year. Our plan is to go ahead and get design started before that date, so that whenever the funds are available, we go ahead and bid it out. We're hoping to get construction, I think it's gonna be a 2 to 3 month project. It's a 1,000-foot slip is what we're looking at. So yeah, $3 million. So we're very appreciative of High Public Works Commission, Linda Bailiff, she made the award. So we're tickled to death with that, $2.5 million. It's hard to get that much from one grant source, so we're tickled to death. So if we get the money July 1st, tentative schedule to be construction, August, September, October, and completion October, November is what we're looking at. We're working with the school, trying to let them know, I'd love to open that road, it's just not safe to drive on, so we're gonna keep it closed until we get it fixed right. So it'll be into the next school year by the time that's repaired and complete.
Great, thank you for that update. Any additional comments or questions?
What is the alternative route? Is it Maple Benner and where's Mount Hill?
Yeah, Maple Bend, as far as just for a regular vehicle, passenger vehicle, so you have the underpass into the railroad off US 23 on Maple Benner that makes that a little bit tough. It's, I think, 8'6" on the edges. So if you have any sort of a trailer, or obviously a semi can't get through there, but you're pretty limited, but you can get in that way. Really, the actual route to get around is gonna go through New Boston, and then come up 139, and then go to the other side of Maple Benner, off of State Route 139.
I remember as a kid, we used to go through there with school buses. I don't know if the new ones would go through. Well, we saw sparks more than once off the mirrors. Seriously.
So that's why the railroad made those arches, is so the school buses could fit.
They did, and I don't know if the new buses can do that as high as they ride now, but back then Dave Turner did it all the time, and it was like threading a needle every single time, and we as kids would just be like, whoa, and the sparks would fly down both sides of the bus sometimes. It's interesting.
It's a one-lane underpass, so it's something to be cautious with. The other thing is, with the Marks Tower that's being constructed right now, there's a 156,000 pound crane that's gonna go to the top of that hill, I think actually today. So we had to run a permit, instead of going up Fort Hill from the west side, we had to run them through New Boston, out 139 to Maple Benner. And of course, we have 2 bridges that we have to check too. So it's pretty bad timing as far as it's bad timing to shut it down anytime, but especially with the Marks Tower construction.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Any additional comments or questions?
Well, I think if anybody, if there was any question why issue 2 is so important to voters right now, this is a prime example. Of course, issue 2 is the OPWC renewal, and which is going on and which will be on the ballot now.
It's on the ballot.
It's on the ballot now, and Mr. LeBrun, you might want to mention that if that these are the kind of things that that's why we have OPWC.
Yeah, so this is specifically through OPWC. It's for slip repair or landslide of a road. That's where we're getting the money from, is in the state transportation budget. But OPWC is a fantastic funding mechanism for infrastructure. Since I've been engineer, Scioto County's just through our office, through the commissioners and our office, has received over $10 million of grant funds, and we disperse that. We talk about the countywide paving project that we have, so the city, the villages, and the townships, plus the county roads all benefit from it. So not only paving, but we've done water lines. I know that sewer lines have been constructed in Scioto County. So it is like the backbone of our infrastructure, and it subsidizes our budgets. We bring in $6 million a year roughly in our office with the gas tax and with the vehicle license fees. We bring in about another 6 to 10 million in grants on top of that. So if it wasn't for that subsidy that we had, and now that's not all OPWC, but OPWC is a lot of it. OPWC, it's a fantastic program. So yeah, I do support it. I stay out of the political arena. I like to do my job, but I do support issue 2. I will be voting for it, and it's a fantastic program throughout the state. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for those comments. Any additional? We'll entertain a motion.
I make the motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution reducing roadway maximum to 50% axle weight and requiring a permit for loads exceeding this limit on Lyon Road, Township Road 224, and Luther Road, Township Road 229 in Madison Township, Scioto County, Ohio, regarding the Scioto County engineer.
This is another matter the engineers brought before us with a letter of recommendation to change the load limits for these two bridges. There's some construction happening out there in Madison Township. There are posted approved detours, but of course people always try to find the quickest way. Unfortunately, two of the bridges on the quickest way are, and engineer, if you want to speak toward this, cannot handle the maximum weight allowable by trucks, so the request is to reduce it to 50% axle weight reduction.
Yeah, that's correct. So this is for the roadways, not the bridges. So we don't.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. So this is a roadway reduction. So this is my recommendation. The commercial traffic that those roads are seeing, the road base cannot handle it. So it's my recommendation for the reduction. And in this way, this would make something that's enforceable to where either the sheriff's department or state highway patrol can ticket any loads that exceed the 50% weight.
I appreciate that clarification, and it looks like the township has paved both of those roads. Total cost of $127,064 here in the recent past, and now this could potentially damage all of the hard work and funds that went into fixing those roads.
Absolutely. So it's 335, the ADT, I just looked it up the other day, it's roughly 5,000 vehicles a day. Luther Road and Lyons Road are both they're the de facto detour, which ODOT calls a local detour. ODOT does have a posted route of, I think, the bypass, State Route 32, and of course the other state routes 139 around it, but US 52. Most local traffic's not going to take that. So, but what happens is if a trucker has just Google Maps that they're using for a GPS, it routes them over those roads. Lyons Road is 13 feet wide, so two trucks can't pass, and two vehicles really can't pass at that width. Luther Road is 16 feet wide, so two vehicles can pass, but a semi and a vehicle, it's much tougher. So, but I do recommend the weight reduction. I'm very hesitant to do that on roads because those are public roads. We will be permitting the Rumpke trucks for like trash or any sort of delivery that somebody has, and then there are farmers that are adjacent that own property or have grain trucks go through. Those would not be subject to the axle weight reduction, but as far as just through commercial traffic, those would be subject to that reduction.
What about your fire trucks and?
Yeah, they're fine. We'll let the fire truck. We'll let the fire guys put the fire truck in.
Sure.
Absolutely, yeah. So that does not apply to them either.
And all that permitting comes through your office,
Through our office.
for a request to travel?
And they can request it to somebody, but we're going to be aggressive. We're going to be reaching out to those folks to make sure that they get the permit they need.
Okay. So should this pass today, they are potential fines and legal ramifications for using these roads should they be over the legal
That's it,
limit.
yeah. So it'll be effective. We're planning on putting it, if the board passes it, we'll be putting the signs up today, and then it'll be effective beginning Sunday. It'll actually be enforceable on Sunday.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
And Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing participation in the winter contract awarded in 2025 for road salt regarding the Scioto County engineer.
Any comments or questions on the winter contract? Hearing none.
Make a motion to adopt the resolution?
Second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of appointment to the Southeast Child Abuse Prevention Council.
We did receive a recommendation that Ms. Dawn Keller is interested in serving as our second appointment to the Southeast Child Abuse Prevention Council. Dawn's name is going to sound very familiar. She has served on several boards within the county over the years. I think most recently on the Children's Services Board. She was an excellent board member there, and I think she's be an excellent addition in this case as well. And quite frankly, appreciate her willingness to throw her name in the ring and be willing to continue to serve the county. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of agreement between the Board of Sauter County Commissioners and Network Innovation Solutions regarding cloud services.
Yeah, this is a renewal contract for our cloud services. There was a 10% increase on, and I'm looking at our clerk,
It was because of the tariff.
because of the tariff, so there is a 10% increase in this service. It is $2,635.69 per month. Annual basis, $31,628.28. Any comments or questions? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
Who's recommending this?
this is through our IT services. This is our cloud
This is-
service that we've been.
Yeah,
that
we've had
had.
them, NIS.
Did this go through our IT third party to review before we're voting on this? Just to see if it's,
Casey, you want something else?
tariffs? I don't know how physical tariffs can have an impact on intellectual property. I'm just asking. I don't.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I mean, he sent it to me, and I can't remember if he said that he spoke with,
Jeff did?
no,
Oh,
this Hunter Whitley is over the NIS. He has dealt with us for the last few years. And he sent it to me and just said it was a renewal other than the 10% because of tariffs. He said what it was specific on the tariffs, but I can't remember what that was.
is there a deadline on this?
I
If not, we can table.
don't think so. I mean, obviously there probably is, but I don't think it's like soon.
Understood, annual
Just
renewal rate
concerns.
increase 10% is needed.
Yeah.
If you'd like to table and communicate with them, Commissioner Davis? Mark?
I'm just concerned because this came out of nowhere. I'd like to know what the calculation is, how they came up with 10%. And just a little bit more information on whether or not.
He did say that if you guys had any questions, that he would be happy to meet with you. So, he said that, he would explain or whatever you needed, he would meet with you because he did know that 10% was on there. So if you want me to table it and then,
Well, if we're going to table it, we do have a motion on the floor, so we would need to rescind the motion.
I understand.
And did we start voting already?
Yeah.
Yes, I voted. So I will make a motion to rescind my vote at this time.
And rescind and who made the motion?
Yeah, I would just like to better understand it,
Of course,
really.
I-
That's fine, no, you're
I know,
completely fine.
in the whole scheme of things, it's not that much money, but it's still,
To understand.
we ought to fully understand why we're paying more money for a service like this. And anytime I hear the word tariff, I'm like, well, wait a minute, because I'm hearing about these surcharges popping up on stuff. And this, I'm just curious as to why this would be falling under that regime. But anyways, I'm sure.
So it sounds like you are making, you'd like to
I would like to table
rescind,
it.
you'd rescind your motion first?
Okay, I would
So we've done that.
second the rescension.
I don't know, we have to second it, but we have a motion to table.
Do we have to vote on the recent?
No, not if you're pulling,
I would make a motion to table
Yeah.
table item 12 for further research.
I'll second.
okay. Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of sub-grant agreement between the Sauter County Job and Family Services and Community Action Organization of Sauter County regarding the 2025 TANF Summer Youth.
So this is a sub-grant agreement between Sauter County Job and Family Services and Community Action of Sauter County for the 2025 TANF Summer Youth Program. It's effect May 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2025. Total value is $95,014. This is the program that we're able to put youth to work over the summer. It's a great program. If you have any children that are potentially eligible, it is administered through the Community Action. So please go down to Community Action right adjacent there to Market Street and sign them up, put them to work. That way they're not sitting at the house playing video games all summer, right? So, any additional comments or questions? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting board minutes,
Any comments or questions on the board minutes? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Hi. I do know we have a bid opening at 10. Potentially, if we have any bids. Is Mary coming today? Do we know? Okay. Prior to that, we do have 8 minutes. So I will entertain any questions, items on agenda. Any items on agenda? Nothing online. Any items off agenda? No questions or items off agenda? All right, I still have 8 minutes.
Song and dance?
Yeah, well, I can have a song if you'll do the dance. Do we got a deal?
I bet.
No. We can do statements, clapping. We're cheering us on, Brian. Let's go to any statements. Commissioner Davis, do you have any comments or statements for the board?
I do want to stress the importance of issue 2 again. Thank you to our engineer for being here today. It is a statewide initiative, of course. Correct me if I'm wrong, Engineer LeBrun, I believe it's every 10 years we approve this initiative. This is not anything new, so those that will be voting in this election should understand that this is not a new thing. It very much is something that we've been doing for years, and Scioto County has reaped greatly as a result of OPWC and the work that's been done by our engineers over the years. So I really appreciate all that you do, and it's not easy. It's not as simple as just showing up and asking for money. You got to do all the homework behind it and get everything put in place and actually put together a plan and a project in order to get those monies, and you never know if you're going to get it, but our engineer has been very successful in doing so. So I appreciate all your hard work and the efforts of the front office and then everybody in the back office that helps get the work done afterwards, the back room. But
Guys in the back.
Guys in the back.
Guys in the back.
But we do appreciate all of that. So get out and vote. Please support issue 2. Like I said, it's not a new tax increase. It's always been there, and it's for things like what we're talking about today. The massive slip up on Fort Hill. It just wow, that one came out of nowhere, and I know you got another one someplace else too in the county that was pretty good sized. So we're glad for that. In addition, today I just wanted to bring up a couple of things, and I really feel like we're now 2 months into the fact that our economic development has been changed, basically non-existent for 2 months. And I know that SOPA is reorganized. They are doing business. They are doing what they need to do. My concern is that we do not have a ship or a captain, and we're 60 days in. There are three tiers that commissioners are responsible for. We're responsible for the fiscal health of the general fund. We are responsible for health and safety. That has a lot of tentacles to it. Variables as well. But then the third leg of that is economic development and workforce development. And so we have one of our legs of the tripod that has been debilitated here, and I feel like we need to develop that plan. I know that there was a comment made by our chairman a couple weeks ago about we may not all agree on what that course forward needs to be. I would like to hear what the opinion is of my co-commissioners on what that should look like, or they would like to see that look like. And I'd like to do that soon, because it is too important with what's going on at the state level. We are starting to see a retraction at the national and state level of jobs. We are seeing, of course, the terrible, unfortunate announcement of what happened in Chillicothe with the paper plant. That will affect Scioto County. You know, a lot of people think that's Ross County. That's not Scioto County. No, it will affect Scioto County in a huge way, primarily because not only do we have direct plant workers from Scioto County working there, but transportation, loggers, people working in the wood industry, people that supply the plant, any entities that would supply any raw material, any material of any kind, those individuals are going to be impacted in a huge way. I really hope, and I've been watching Ross County in the way they're reacting to this. I think their leaders are doing a good job. This came out of left field from what I understand. There was no pre-warning. Pixel made the decision, boom, there it was. And I hope that there's an effort by state officials, and of course the locals are going to be on board with any repurposing of the facility. I don't know if that's even possible. I mean, paper production is probably a pretty special thing, but we're talking about over 800 employees losing their jobs, good paying jobs, and some of those people are in Scioto County. My heart goes out to them. Know what that feels like, you know, whenever economic times hit like that. And we need to be very, very, very cognizant of that. But now is not the time to retract on economic development. Now is the time to invest and move and make sure we have someone at the helm, because we have marketable properties. We have the ability to do it. We just need someone at the helm, and we need to move fast. You know, there are a lot of opportunities as well. And yes, we work with regional partners, but we can't depend on our regional partners to do what we should be doing for ourselves. That's my opinion, and I'll leave it at that. The other issue is I really feel like we need to really tackle this loss control issue, Scott. I think we've gone long enough. I know we've tried to keep our costs down the best we can, but we're also sharing employees way too much. We got people doing multiple roles in this office, and it's getting to the point now. I'll give an example. I can't have a land bank meeting this week because our land bank director has a safety conference filling that role. We actually had, you know, the land bank had business. Now I know that's not commissioner business, that's land bank business. We keep it separate, but that's what we're doing. We're sharing employees, and we're trying to get all these things done. And at some point, we need to address it, and we need to do it together, and we need to get this done. So I'm concerned that we're bare bones. So I would like to tackle that together with you two and get this done, because we really, to me, it seems like we've cut too much, or we just haven't filled roles that are very important. Loss prevention control is very important, that we need to make sure that we have a safe working environment, that we're doing the necessary things to make sure that our employees not only feel safe, but also are safe, and that person working with the security and all of that is very important as well. And it just seems like we are just stalled out on this, and we need to address it and move on. And I know we've made efforts. We've actually tried, and we just didn't get the person we were looking for. But we're not doing anything right now. We need to move forward, because it's too much strain on the girls here in the office, our office personnel here, as well as ancillary. So I'd welcome any comment on it. Maybe I'm not aware of something that's going on that I should be, but I'll just leave it at that. And then we have 1 minute, and we have our wonderful friends.
It's 10 o'clock
wonderful friends from Raritan Daily Bread here. But I know I throw a lot out there, but I think it's time that we do something. So,
all right, we do have a potential bid opening. I'm looking at our clerk. We have received no bids. So, Mary, they would have came here, correct?
And they should have been here by 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We had a pre-bid walkthrough last week. 2 contractors attended the pre-bid walkthrough
Okay.
Wednesday of last week, and a week ago, both of them told me they were interested in bidding. So I'm very surprised and disappointed.
So at this point, we do not have bids. If you'd go to the podium, and we can talk a little bit about the program, because we're going to have to clearly rebid. But if you want to articulate what people could be bidding on, and maybe that'll generate some additional interest in the project out there at Raritan Daily Bread. We're joined by friends at Raritan Daily Bread, and we've said this time and time again, you guys do a fantastic job out there. Multiple free warm meals, hundreds a day, right? Taking care of folks out there in Raritan, and it's a volunteer organization. You guys just do fantastic work. Part of our connection to that is part of the CDBG grant money. I know we did some ARPA funds to be able to get a building, and now we're trying to get additional funds to help you renovate so you have your own space, because you've been kind of working out of the community center there in Raritan. So it'd be nice to have your own space to continue the great work that you guys do. But Mary, if you can talk, like what specifically were we bidding out? What are we trying to get done? And maybe we can get additional contractors interested.
Right, well, let me get the scope of the work in the folders with me clearly. But we about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, applied for a grant through the Ohio Department of Development and were successful. It was a $250,000 grant, $240,100 of which is to go to renovate the building in Raritan, 1631 Bleakman Street in Raritan, for use as the soup kitchen. The architect Kirk is here as well and can weigh in. The Raritan Daily Bread, they contracted with Kirk's organization, the architectural firm, to develop plans and do the scope of work. And Kirk, do you want to, maybe I'll move over as I dig through my papers and talk about what exactly we're planning to do here.
Yes, absolutely. I actually took over the project from Mark Holsinger, my business partner who retired last summer, so I was not involved at the beginning. They did a series of one permit already that has roughed-in bathrooms, roughed-in one storage area, got new water line in place, got a lot of the infrastructure in place, and then this additional money came along, so we've added, added another storage area. We're actually adding on to the building to provide some space for walk-in cooler, freezer, and then doing some site work. That's the nuts and bolts of the project. So some completion of drywall and stuff on what was originally permitted, and then we are fully permitted through the state on this second project, and that's why we were going to bid today. I did take a call from one of the two contractors, and they asked me, they were trending above the 10%, and I did let them know that the state threshold now is 20% for over budget, for that having the threshold to automatically push hooks. So I thought at least one of them was going to put in a bid. I didn't hear anything from anybody this morning.
Okay.
We'll just,
And are you able to share what the estimated number was for the project?
$240,100 was our estimate.
Okay.
I've been bidding too many projects.
What we can do is potentially rebid with an itemized bid where contractors can bid listing a unit price for each element
Yeah.
of construction, and then it would be up to the architect and Raritan Daily Bread to say, we don't have enough money to do all of the work. We can do a piece of the work instead.
It's like a line item veto.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the reason this is so important is that Raritan Daily Bread needs to have this work completed to get the occupancy permit so they can use the building
Yeah.
that the ARPA funds helped them buy, I think back in 2022. So this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And we were very excited that we were finally getting to the point to get it out to bid and hopefully under contract. So we're going to go back to the drawing board. One of the other things that would be helpful for me is if there are contractors in Scioto County or neighboring contractors that either Kirk works with or the commissioners are aware of, to get a larger list put together. And we advertised twice in the local paper. Raritan Daily Bread's been working with the contractor. He attended the pre-bid walkthrough and had the opportunity to bid. There's a contractor that I've been working with on the Morgan Township Community Center project that was funded with 2022 CDBG allocation funds. He also attended the pre-bid walkthrough last week. But if there are other local contractors that anybody knows, please get them to Kirk or get them to me, and we'll market this better and see if we can rebid it and get something that we can award.
Have you considered expanding the advertising area to outside of local?
We can do that. It's just, there's an advertising budget. The county pays for the bid notices. And we're able to advertise in other local papers There are also a number of contracting groups like Dodge Reports, for example, that can pick up bid notices and post them online. Usually I get emails from Dodge wanting lists of everything we're bidding out, so they should be aware. But I can make sure that we get that to them as well.
Yeah, we keep a comprehensive list of, it's probably 60 to 75 general contractors, whether it's a site contractor or a home builder. And we did blast it, we blasted, email blast everything, time something advertises, we hit that email list to all, and it says, hey, this project's out there, if you're interested, go find the proper way of, proper channel of picking up the bid. So
The doc-
I was kind of surprised that we had to as well.
The Dodge report from my previous employment, we used it for years, and it's very reliable. It's a very good advertising source. It's just,
Yeah, we can Construct Connect usually picks up on legal ads, does, there's 2 or 3 that pick up.
My understanding, a lot of contractors are really, really busy right
Yes,
now.
that's part
I
of
mean,
the
people are
issue.
just loaded up,
Yeah.
so I wonder if that's part of it, but what's the deadline on construction?
Well,
Is that one
that's
of the
another
limitations?
option we have, and so when we put the bid packet together in consultation with Kirk's office, we scoped out a deadline of 5 months, so 150 days. However, the state's termination date for this contract is not until June of 2026. So something else that we can possibly do is put a longer deadline in the bid packet, and maybe contractors that have time over the winter, for example, but are really busy right now, can see that they can do this project in November or December rather than June or July.
That's when
something
they
that we can
really
do as
like to
well.
have the work
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll reach out to both the contractors that are interested and try to troubleshoot why they didn't turn it in. It's pretty standard with what we do.
Okay.
Amount of jobs we bid all the time. And see if it was a budgetary concern or just timing.
Yeah.
Couldn't get a certain sub to get a price to them in time to turn in the bid. That's half the price with me recently in Benton County. So we'll do our due diligence and set a new bid date.
And to Kirk's point, we can award contracts now that are in excess of, or 20% of the estimate, but the issue is that Reardon Daily Bread would have to come up with that difference, and they don't have that money. So in a case like this, we really want to keep the project cost to the amount of the grant.
Yeah, I mean, the hope was if we were within the awardable threshold, then you can sit down with that contractor and value engineer and see. But I think the line item checklist would be really good. All the CDBG projects we do in Kentucky, they require us to put a line item for that reason, either in ads or deducts. Actually, Kentucky's odd because you have to take them in order that we listen. So,
Yeah.
Ohio doesn't have that requirement.
so if there's anyone out there that's just hearing about this, who do they contact to pick up the bid documents and?
Well, I think what we're going to do is, Kirk and I will talk about the cost estimate and see if there's any revisions to the plans that are required. So I think that's the first step. And once we're sure that our estimate's good and that our plans are where they need to be, then we're gonna start, we'll set a new bid date, we'll advertise through the local newspaper, and then they can contact me or Kirk, either one of us, and we've been communicating frequently about this over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, anybody who may be interested, please let me know.
I know of a couple myself, smaller contractors that would be interested, that I don't think, maybe they aren't fully aware of the project, so I will pass that on
I
myself.
think the other issue is that, it is a federal prevailing wage job,
Mhm.
and that's something that smaller contractors sometimes aren't used to.
That's
The
correct.
contractor we're working with in the Morgan Township Community Center, they do know federal prevailing wage jobs, but they told me that this is a bigger job than they normally tackle. So I don't know if some of the federal requirements have scared off contractors as well, and that's something unfortunately that we can't work around with this money, obviously.
There's definitely level of paperwork we run across smaller contractors, just aren't familiar with, don't want to maybe go through the hassle.
pre-construction conference with the awarded contractor to go through the plans with them one-on-one, and for me to go through the federal paperwork with them one-on-one. So there is assistance for them with that.
Mhm.
But I think what we'll probably do is wait until maybe June or July and try and get this back out to bid, and then give contractors a longer lead time to complete the work.
Okay. Back to square one.
Again, is it, I want to have a question, please.
Sure.
Would it be legal for me to advertise it? I advertise the People's Messenger, and we have a Facebook page, and we get over 3 million hits in 28 days. Is it legal for me to run it?
Once we get the bid advertisement put together, you're certainly able to post it
Yeah.
on your outlets.
I don't need money, I just need to have,
Yes.
know it's legal.
Yes.
Because my paper's free.
Yeah.
And,
Just like I said, when we did the email blast, it's just saying, hey, this was advertised in the course of the daily times, or.
but if I had someone to send it to me, I can get it out there. And then my husband told me he thought one of the contractors was having a memorial service this past weekend. So with a lot going on, that he may not be able to get it.
Well, we will regroup, we'll figure out what happened, and we'll get it out to bid again.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
So thank you for that. I think we're on to the public hearing. So you might as well
You're
stay
still
there,
up.
right?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a sign-in sheet, Amanda, I don't know if you want me to use my sign-in sheet for the public.
It doesn't matter, I didn't know if you were bringing one or not, so we went ahead and printed one.
Well, then I'll use yours.
It's laying there on the table.
Okay,
Just make sure you sign in if you're in attendance.
I'll do that on the way out. So I do have a couple of handouts. I think I brought 6, so hopefully that is enough.
Do we want to go ahead and take a vote to open the public hearing?
Yeah. Appreciate that. If we
So
can
in the
entertain
matter of
a.
opening public hearing fiscal year 2025 CDBG funds.
Right. We got a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Got a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Davis,
All right.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Hi. Public hearing's officially open.
Wonderful. Well, good morning. I'm Mary Oakley. I'm with the CDC of Ohio. We've worked in Scioto County for a couple of years now, assisting the commissioners with their community development block grant program. And public hearings are a requirement of state and federal funding. This is the first public hearing for the 2025 CDBG program year. The funding I represent is through the Ohio Department of Development by way of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And the programs require the majority of funds go for low and moderate income benefit or for the alleviation of slum and blight. The second page of the handout after the agenda is out of the state's annual action plan for 2025, and it's the approximate budget of their 2025 programs. These numbers are based on the 2024 budget, so there could be some change, but there was a continuing resolution passed in Washington, D.C. that funds the program through 2025. So the state is fairly confident. In fact, they've released their allocation, their non-competitive numbers for the communities that get that funding this year are pretty confident that this is the money we're going to have for 2025. Based on that prior year budget, there will be about $80 million coming to the state, 45 of which comes from the Community Development Block Grant Program, and then $22 million from the home program that funds housing projects. The county and the city of Portsmouth together use the Ohio Regional Development Corporation to administer their housing programs. I'm on the community development side. And although Scioto County is an even year grantee for its non-competitive allocation money, the county received $288,000 in 2024 and we're working currently to get those projects up and going. And then we'll expect to receive the non-competitive money again in 2026. There are programs for which the county can apply in 2025. One of them is the Critical Infrastructure Program. That's the grant of up to $500,000 for failed or failing infrastructure projects. There's also a grant called Residential Public Infrastructure. It's a grant of up to $750,000 for large-scale water or sanitary sewer projects. Those projects are required to alleviate a documented health hazard. They require communities to have a certain water and sewer rate structure. There's an economic development program that can provide grants of up to $500,000 for off-site publicly owned infrastructure for companies that are going to commit to job creation for persons of low and moderate income. That program can also provide loans to companies for up to $500,000 for fixed asset financing. The same job creation for low and moderate income persons comply or apply. And then there is the flexible grant program. This is the program we just talked about that we were successful in getting for Reardon Daily Bread in 2024. That program, it's an open cycle program, usually up to $250,000, and it's for CDBG eligible projects that are priorities of the state of Ohio that do not fit into one of the other funding categories. So in addition to doing the soup kitchen, that program funds downtown redevelopment, it's funded domestic violence shelters, those kind of projects, for example. So the reason we're doing the first public hearing today is that we identified a project that is potentially eligible for critical infrastructure funds in 2025. And actually, I think the commissioners are aware of this project already. We had discussed it in some detail in 2024, but it was decided to prioritize two other critical infrastructure applications for funding. The state only allows communities to have so many open projects at one time. And so this project is the replacement of two bridges along Carey's Run. The project would qualify under the low and moderate income national objective. The project's located along Census Tract 40, Block Group 2, which is 57.1% low and moderate income, according to the new ACS data, American Community Survey data we're required to use. And that project will benefit a subset of that block group's 850 population. So Darren's here from the engineer's office. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about the project at this time?
A little bit more.
Sure.
So I think to backtrack a little bit, we were talking about the projects in Boston and Otway. So that, commissioners, if you remember, CDC, I've known John Cleek for several years. He's one of the owners of CDC of Ohio. And then Mary, one of the newer, I guess, hires, at least since I knew John a decade ago. Mary's fantastic to deal with, and so is John. So, you're looking at $1.5 million that this organization has helped bring into Scioto County to work on things that need to be done. So, the work in New Boston, that's for the flood control, I believe. And in Otway, it's work on 73 to help with drainage, so we're involved with that some and helping the village. So first of all, I think these are federal dollars. This is a good use of federal tax funds, is what I think. So I think that's the first thing to point out. As far as the projects on Carey's Run, in the county, we have a little over 20 bridges that I'd love to replace. The price tag for that's about $10 million or more, is what you're looking at. So I just was whining about my $6 million budget just a few minutes ago. But these are the things that subsidize that, and these are the projects where we work with groups like CDC of Ohio to get bridges replaced that need replaced. The two bridges we're talking about have what we call depth parapets. They have the concrete parapets on the side. If you hit them, it's going to be a bad day. And the bridges are in poor condition. They're rated at 4, both of them. Each of them roughly about $350,000 to replace, just on a preliminary estimate basis. So of course we're looking to try to get $500,000. That's just a coupon. We might try to team that up with another grant, or just pay it out of our own funds at the engineer's office. So but each bridge The mile markers, they're, I can't think off the top of my head, they're on the 52 side of Carey's Run, and I'd say roughly 1 to 3 miles off of US 52 are where each of them are. Of course, we won't close both of them at the same time if we get the funds. Mary doesn't let us make mistakes like that, so, but anyway, we are looking to replace those bridges, and this would be a great help to the county highway system if we're able to get those bridges replaced.
And after today's meeting, Darren and I are going to drive out there and I'm going to take a look at them. I've driven Carey's Run before when I knew this project was on the horizon, but now that I'm getting serious about writing the grant application, I want to get some good photographs and really understand why they're in critical condition and how they're impacting the people who live in the block groups that we're considering to be the benefit area. The application is due to the state June 11th, so we have a little less than 2 months to work on it. As Darren said, it is a $500,000 grant, and it makes sense from my estimation to do both bridges at once. We're going to maximize the grant request at that point rather than doing one for $350 and leaving some money on the table, even if it does require some funds to come from another funding source. And so the two key elements for a successful application is one to show that the infrastructure has failed or is failing, while 4 condition level bridges, that's the worst ranking for county bridges. And then we need to be able to demonstrate how it impacts the people who use those bridges. So part of my job is to tell a story about the people who live in that area and how they interact with that infrastructure to make it a compelling case for an application. And as Darren mentioned, we did apply for the one in Otway in 2024 and the one in New Boston. Both of those projects are in the design and engineering phase right now, so we've not gone out to bid or done any construction on those yet. And the reason we're able to apply for Carey's Run this year is that we were successful in working with Darren's office in getting the first project we got funded, the 2023 in Franklin Furnace, completed ahead of schedule. The work's done, great project, and the state is coming to my office to do a compliance audit a week from, actually on Tuesday. So I'm not expecting any issues. We should be able to get that one closed, and that's what frees up a spot for the county to come in 2025 with another project.
That's great.
So this is the first public hearing. Before we apply on June 11th, we'll have a second public hearing to specifically talk in more detail about Carey's Run. At that time, hopefully I'll have some photos and some stories from the residents who live in that area to share with you. I also mentioned briefly that there is New American Communities Survey data that we're required to use. And the last 2 pages of your handout is the new data that for projects in 2025 and 2026 are going to be required. I have not been able to go through and compare the data to the last set, but there have been some changes. For example, Reardon Village was not low income for the last data set. The township was, the village wasn't. But now both the township and the village qualify. Most of the areas, from a very quick look at the data, Franklin Furnace still qualifies, New Boston still qualifies, West Portsmouth still qualifies, Otway still qualifies. And so this is the data we're going to use in starting to plan for example, if there is a target of opportunities project that the county is interested in applying for in 2025, or if we're interested in doing another critical infrastructure or a neighborhood revitalization grant, or for the county's using their 2026 allocation money, these are the numbers we're going to be using. So I wanted to get those out there in front of you as soon as possible so we can start thinking about projects for either later on in 2025 or in 2026. Questions, comments?
No questions from the board? Look, I'll echo Engineer LeBrun. We appreciate the hard work that your organization has done. When we look at neighborhood revitalization, critical infrastructure, those are grants that this county hadn't gone for a while, and then you guys step in, and all of a sudden there's an extra $1.5 million in the community being spent on very critical areas and items. So Mary and Jen, thank you for your hard work. Because quite like the reality is, if you don't get the grant money, you guys don't get reimbursed either. So you're definitely helping us weed through projects and making sure we're submitting the best projects because it benefits our community, but also your organization. So we appreciate your guidance and your insight as we kind of go after this federal money. So thank you.
Well, thank you also. I enjoy working in a community with three very engaged commissioners. Amanda's been fantastic to work with. Obviously, Darren and Ethan in his office, and I'm getting to know Katie. And I really love coming down here, especially on a sunny day. It's a beautiful county to drive around when the sun's shining. So I enjoy my time down here very much.
Very good. Any additional comments or questions? Since it is a public hearing, any questions or comments from the public? Nothing? All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion. And I'll second it.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Hi. All right, thank you for that. We're back to comments. Commissioner Coleman, do you have anything you'd like to share?
It's just sad because last week at our meeting, we made an announcement that it was, we were recognizing safety on highways, and then just in the last couple of days, there was a young man struck by a semi in West Virginia and killed on that project. And again, just stressing to everyone out there, especially with the Easter holiday coming, a lot of traveling, please be careful. Watch out for road construction or anything that might be going on the highways. Hold the speed down and just drive carefully. Take care of yourself, so that at the end of this holiday, we can come back and not have any other bad things to think about or talk about. Just be careful out there. Enjoy your holiday.
Yeah. Thank you for
Get
that.
out, go to church if you have a church. If you don't have one, you're welcome to come to mine in West Portsmouth, Nauvoo Methodist, and just have an enjoyable weekend.
Thank you for that. I do want to express yet again our condolences to the family of Rodney Barnett. He was the chairman of the Republican Party chairman and co-chair for over 30 years. And it really has shaped the political landscape of our county. But not only that, his dedication to Bloom Vernon School District for 50 plus years, the many boards that he served on diligently within the community, a major loss for our community. So keep his wife Sue and their family in your prayers. I know they're having visitation out at the school, Bloom Vernon School tomorrow, and then services Saturday at noon. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. To echo Commissioner Coleman, with the Easter weekend, we're reminded that we do have hope, and I encourage you to go find a church that you can participate in. The Friends of Green Lawn Cemetery do a fantastic job every Easter. Sunrise service, standing out there by the little chapel, and it's an interesting place to have a sunrise service, but I think I heard Reverend Gowdy say it best on the radio when he said, well, if you think about it, the first Easter service was in a graveyard too. So it's pretty fitting, and they do a great job. So support that organization. I do want to make comment regarding economic development. Commissioner Davis, thank you for bringing it up. I've been going back and forth. How do we tackle it? I think we would be, arrogant to think that we're not at a trust deficit currently within the community in terms of how we're viewed and how we're handling economic development. I've been looking at a lot of different counties and regions across the state and how they do it, talking to a lot of regional partners and state level partners. What I would propose and what I'd like to see us do is really have a summit to reimagine what economic development looks like in Scioto County. I think we need all the stakeholders in the room to say, what does it look like? In some places you have economic development, you have Chamber of Commerce, you have tourism, you kind of have everything under an umbrella. You at least have people working in the same direction, but how do we pull in Shawnee State? How do we pull in the technical school? How do we pull in workforce development, community action? all these entities that impact economic development and say, guys, we're going to get another shot at this. What should it look like? Should it be through SOPA? I don't know. I think SOPA is going to have a rough reputation for a bit. Should it be through a new CIC? I don't know. I don't know if that's the right venue. Several counties have it ran through a nonprofit. And then also, how do you fund it? I think the last thing we want to do is have an economic development system set up where only the commissioners are funding it. So how do you get the city involved? How do you get some of the other organizations involved? Our focus should be creating a system that can withstand the winds of politics, creating a system that can withstand and operate adjacent to what we do. Are we responsible for economic development? Do we play a part in that? Yes, we do. But we need to be setting up a system that can survive 20, 30 years in spite of who's sitting in these seats, in spite of who's on the board. And I think part of that is allowing organizations to be represented and it not just be solely a commissioner-driven initiative. We see that a lot of other places, most other places. But what does that look like? I don't have the answers, and I would be ignorant to say that I do. But how do we get the smartest people in the room that are currently touching economic development, that are currently getting phone calls about economic development? A lot of different entities are reaching out saying, hey, I got a call about XYZ project. And maybe we're not directly associated. I had one of those regarding with the city of Portsmouth. They just wanted somebody to participate. We really don't have any, like it's a city of Portsmouth economic development project, but at the same time, they invited me in to at least hear what potentially is going on there. So how do we get everybody no longer in the silos? At the statewide level, they'll literally say, we don't know who to talk to. We'll call somebody and we don't know who to talk to. And this was even prior to the current situation we're dealing with. How do we tear down all of the silos and get the organizations in the room? What does this look like? And I understand the need to, hey, we need to get something up and fast. I get that. I would prefer getting all of the partners in the room saying, let's build a structure that'll last. Let's get a structure that we can work together, that we can move forward, and we're hearing the multiple voices that are going to drive economic development. So I would propose some sort of summit, reimagining summit, where we can get through and get the organizations together to say, one, what does it look like? Two, how do you fund it? Three, where does a director sit? Are they in a certain organization? Are they within our organization or another organization? And then that is the point person for the county and how that operates. Some counties, the commissioners have not a whole lot of involvement in economic development. We've seen that. Is that the right model? I don't know. But we've seen that. In other places we see where it's very much our system, where it was truly encapsulated within our involvement. So that, I'm just speaking out loud. That's what I'm struggling with in terms of what does it look like. Could we just throw it back together the way it was? I wouldn't think so at this point. I wouldn't think that would create any sort of confidence in the system. And I think rebuilding back that confidence is going to have to be paramount to get projects within this county. And I think the only way you get confidence back is making sure you have multiple people involved in recreating whatever it is. So that's my thought process on it. And I think our friends at Ohio Southeast could probably help weigh in on that. I think Shawnee State, once again, community action, heck, even the labor groups. How do you get folks in the room to say, this is it? We're going to get another shot at this. Let's not, let's move it forward. There's no value in getting everybody in the room and reliving the past. We know what's going on. That's going through the right process. But looking forward, what does it look like? What should it look like in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? When I'm no longer sitting in this chair, what should that apparatus for the county, for the region look like? So that's kind of my thoughts on it, Commissioner Davis. I appreciate you bringing it up. Would love to move forward in getting some folks in the room. And as you are both aware, to do that, it's either one of us handles that or it's a public meeting and all three of us are there and it's advertised. And then it's always interesting how people want to participate and are, how open they are when it is an open meeting, because when the cameras are on and when people are invited, people tend to pull their comments a little more so than if it's just a real open conversation. So that's the other consideration. If we would go that route, by all means, I'm open to both possibilities. But I thank you for bringing it up.
I like the idea of the summit. I like the idea of getting all the different, opinions and have these, of course you said, they have an interest in economic development as well. So let us all get together, but what would be our next step? You said, would we host a meeting? Would we?
We could potentially find a place to host, and then make a list of organizations. I think I don't want to stress organizations over people, because at any given time, people within organizations change. So which organizations should be weighing in, and then hopefully they're sending us their best and brightest. Like, that's the expectation, to be able to weigh in. And I think they would. There's a lot of interest in the county right now to help figure this out. Probably more so than there has been in a while. People see it as an opportunity. Is something broken? Yeah, but there's a real want to help fix it, and put it back in a manner that moves everything forward. So I think that's probably the first step, is identifying who, and we probably all have different opinions on those organizations, but how do you put them in a room and then facilitate the conversation? And we could probably get even one of the organizations to, Community Action has a big building down there. They'd probably be willing to open their doors. If not, heck, I'll pay for the rental myself. I don't care. But a big enough space to be able to kind of work through what it could look like. And then present out to, ultimately, we're going to have to vote on something. So then present out to this board of what the recommendation is. And once again, I don't even know what that is. So that's, there's some trust on our side that's going to have to happen to be able to open it up to a group of local leaders to then say, okay, you guys are our best and brightest. What's it look like? So.
Well, it has to start somewhere.
Agreed.
So.
And we can always say no.
That's right.
We can always say
What
no.
you said, I'm fully in support of gaining input from the community, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. Fully support that. At the end of the day, we have to lead.
Yep.
It's our job to lead. So we can gain the information, a lot of which we already know. We know a lot of the information, at least we should. And we need to lead. And now is not the time to, we got to move fast. I can't stress how much that is, because there are companies that are looking to invest in our community right now. And we need someone to lead that charge. And I agree with Commissioner Powell that SOPA is not in that, they're not able to do that right. I don't think you said it that way, but you said it's not really a good route right now, but they are working hard to get things rolling, and that's great. We do have 2 seats to fill on that board, so we need to move on that as well. So there are things that we need to move forward on. We have a CIC that's actually on the books that we have never done anything with.
Yep.
And so those kind of things are in place. You mentioned CICs. You got CICs, you got SOPA, port authorities. Those seem to be the 2 big drivers. Some counties have ED directors, some don't. But the other concern is, and it was mentioned, who pays for it?
Yep.
The commissioners, as long as I've been here, and it seems like for forever, it seems to be that always falls on us, even with a new entity, who comes up with that cash. And you can't rely on grants, because, you can apply for them, but there's no guarantee you're going to get it. So That's probably gonna fall on us, just to be honest with you. I mean, 100%.
At least at
I
the
mean,
beginning, I mean,
Yeah, it was, so
the
we
goal
got
is
seed money.
self-sufficiency, yeah.
That seed money is there, we gotta make sure it's there, but this is so important, that we move, and thank you for the conversation today. You know, the public's watching, and that, yes, there are people that have reached out to me and offered advice and help, and a lot of it we know. It's like we're dealing with the fallout and the dust is settling. Now we got to move, and we got to get something in place and move on it. And yeah, we need to do it right. It's got to be done right. It's got to be done or something that hopefully, prayerfully, will last for a long time.
Yeah.
This has always been a hot button political issue in this county. I don't know why. It just seems like it just gets. It just seems like it always is, and we got to get beyond it and move somewhere, and hopefully we can do that soon. So I look forward to the summit proposal.
I mean, we can start organizing something now. The question is, if everybody wants involved, which I'm not opposed to that, it's a public meeting, and if not, then one of us is essentially facilitating.
Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, start gathering a list of organizations that we can start reaching out to see if they'd want to participate. Some of them might be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll stay away from that for a bit.
Well,
Like, that might happen too.
Yeah, and look, I mean, we work with several economic development entities now that actually Scioto County receives funding from. So, I mean, that work doesn't stop and can't stop. And a matter of fact, there's grants available now. So that can't stop. It's got to keep on moving forward, and we need someone or something pushing that for our for our workers, for our businesses.
Sure.
It's got to be there. So, thank you.
Appreciate that.
I just remembered something else too. Isn't this Trout Derby weekend coming up next?
It's not
next
this
week?
weekend.
Next week.
Trout Derby's next week?
After Easter, the weekend after Easter, and then we have lots of proms starting. I know West.
Lots of proms.
Yes, lots of proms, so we need to think about that. Watch out for those youngsters out there. And I know a lot of the schools plan after prom activities to keep the kids kind of, in a safe environment. So just keep them in our prayers and watch out for them. And again, Easter is this Sunday, and remember why we celebrate Easter. And again, if you don't have a church, please find one. Please celebrate it with your family, and again, enjoy and stay safe.
All right. I appreciate the closing comments.
Last weekend for Easter Cave.
Easter Cave, yes.
yes.
Please go out to Easter Cave. It's
What are the hours
fantastic.
again? And is this the last weekend?
Last weekend.
I'm sure.
3 to 9. 49. Can't remember.
3 to 9? 4 to 9.
4 to
Okay.
9. Let's just
4 to
say
9.
4 to 9. You'll be
That way
fine.
they're not early. Yeah.
Okay.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Got a motion? Second?
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Hi. Thank you, everybody. Have a happy Easter.
Yes.